You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's Basketball Wives After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Basketball Wives After Show.
Hello, what's up? Bing is for doing, and we are doing another AfterBuzz After Show right here in the studio, and we're going to talk about Basketball Wives. Season number 4, episode number 7. Before we do all of that and break it down, let's say who we are. We want you in on the conversation, of course, 424-256-1729. What's up, you guys? Basketball Wives. My name is Ronnie Jr. Next to me, I have the spiciest woman, I used to say on the West Coast, but just the spiciest woman around, spicy Maricela Ferguson, hanging out. We have the creator of HollyHoops.net, creator, CEO, she's the boss dog of HollyHoops.net, Rebecca Prince.
Hi, guys.
Which melts entertainment and sports.
Yeah. Entertainment, sports,
reality.
So you talking about Basketball Wives
guru.
makes sense. And of course we have with the new segment, Fallon's top 5 quotes of the night. Fallon Mercedes of Fallon. What's the website called?
FallonLauren.com.
FallonLauren.com. That's not your middle name. That's just another one of our friends. Yes. Lauren Turner, who always gives us the Beyond the Drama report, because you guys know on this show, it's a lot of drama, and Lauren finds the good in people, so it's really tough with this show sometimes.
I was going to say.
Somehow she manages to do it, though.
Yeah, and Lauren always finds the positive stuff in Basketball Wives, this crazy reality show. So here's the thing. So we'll talk with Lauren soon as well. Episode number 7, and every other reality show, they always have a title of the episode. For some reason, Basketball Wives does not have titles, which is funny because which is funny because we do so much work in television here at AfterBuzz, so I see the titles on other shows and they're really funny. It's like, oh, this hooker said yada yada. These are the titles of these shows, like on Bravo or MTV or whatever. So I was like asking the ladies here, I was like, episode 7, what should we call today?
Bitches and bottles.
So that sums up what today was about.
Bottles.
And I love how if you're not following the show, just in a couple episodes, so much changes. Right now, the meat and the potatoes of today's episode is all Kenya and Evelyn, and we'll get to that as we go. But first, we start off with Kenya, Evelyn, Tammy, Susie, and the rooftop, which, was pretty much from last episode, spilling off.
Yeah, they sort of lead in, they obviously wrapped up last week with them on the rooftop, and Keisha is sort of leaving after, spilling the beans that Kenya isn't so innocent. And then the girls are just kind of there. I think Evelyn and Tammy are just still trying to figure out Kenya, because she talks in circles, and basically no one can get a clear feel. So they're still up there feeling out the situation, but at the end of the day, I think the thing that left the biggest impression was apparently her kitten heels. So who knows?
Yeah, it was a pretty serious discussion. Everybody was hating on the
I have a good quote for that coming up.
Oh, okay. I like that you do that with these quotes, because this show gives kind of a lot.
There's so much. Like, you have to just stop and rewind and listen. It's classic Evelyn. She's the quote queen of the show.
Yeah.
She gives us so much material to laugh about.
Either her or Tammy, they drop sound bites. Oh, you guys, I mean, I'm not sure if you're going to do this in the news, but Tammy was...
Oh, yes.
You're going to break that down? Oh, okay. Well, we'll break down something that went on with Tammy, and the only reason I even somewhat bring it up now is because these women put themselves through a lot. And in Rebecca's Holly Hoops news report, I guess we're going to hear more about that. So the rooftop, Susie is just there. She really never has anything to contribute.
Susie was actually there. Susie walked Keisha out because Keisha was clearly over the whole situation.
Yeah.
She wasn't trying to fight with Kenya. She was over it. She said her piece and was out. So Susie walked her out, but then Susie made a point of going back because she wanted to be there. She doesn't trust Kenya, obviously. She thinks Kenya's crazy. So she wanted to be there to hear kind of how Kenya was going to continue to spin this to Evelyn and Tammy. So she was kind of going there to be like, listen, I'm gonna keep track. You know, her and Keisha are cool
Don't
now.
you feel like there's an obvious dislike from, like, Susie does not care for Kenya whatsoever, because she is doing whatever she can to kind of
Susie also wants to be on the good team. She doesn't want to be on the losers team. That's always for sure.
I mean, but I don't think, you know, with Susie though, Susie will try and like mend bridges. Like we saw her kind of trying to have, you know, Royce. She's prodding Royce to kind of make up with Jennifer. So
she said it's about time for you guys to make
Susie
up now.
definitely she likes to sort of, you know, all these ladies apparently like to be mediators, which we talked about last week.
Even Evelyn, which was a shock.
Evelyn,
I love the way Evelyn, real quick. I love the way Evelyn said, "Okay," when Keisha left. "Okay, yeah, thanks for coming, but goodbye." Like it was like a business meeting. Like, thank you for showing up. Like
It is. These ladies' business is drama. So if there's an issue on the table, let's sit down and let's hash it out.
Thanks for coming.
You know?
We'll see ya.
The only thing missing is like, it's like if you had a meeting in real life, you're in a boardroom or a conference room. These ladies are at a fancy restaurant all the time.
And there's always alcohol.
That's their conference. That's their conference room. They've got mojitos on deck, and they're just ready to hash out the drama.
Yeah, I wonder how much of it they really love, though. I mean, it is kind of cool to. I mean, they have money. You know, they're obviously basketball wives, but kind of cool, even though there's dramatic stuff they have to go through. Like, you're on camera. Maybe some of them are wives, so they're like in a shadow. So I feel like they do yearn for it. Not all of them, but this
You think they yearn
girl.
for the drama?
I think they're okay with putting themselves through it because it is like you get to go to these fly restaurants. You get to.
Well, I think the veterans do. I don't think the new girls really like that. They're not.
Yeah, I don't think Kenya's enjoying her
Keisha's
experience
like,
thus far.
I'm getting up from this going on right here. I'm not part of this.
I don't think we've seen a reality star like Keisha in a while where she's just okay with not causing drama. She's actually, I mean, you would probably know more, but it does seem like she's okay with, if I don't bring drama and if they don't bring me back, oh well.
You know, to me, she seems like the most genuine on the show. She means the most real. Like, I think some of the girls, they've been tainted by reality. They've already done a season, so they know what it is. Okay, if I bring more drama, that's more ratings for the show, that's more money or whatever it is.
Yeah.
For Keisha, I think she wanted to probably try something new in her life. Again, she said she has a business that she wants to promote. So I think she has other motives than to start drama. So I think that's why she doesn't find it funny.
We talk about that on the Jersey Shore after show, what the difference is, like why did Pauly get a spinoff and then, you know, the other ones didn't, or why some of them, you know, do sort of ridiculous things. Well, at the end of the day, Pauly has his DJ, you know, career that he's trying to push. So I think when you have something else, like Keisha has the dance company, you're not so forcing yourself.
I disagree because you have Evelyn who
Should we shout at each other too?
Has a book, you know, but I'm just saying, like, in reality TV, as much as it's real, in quotes, because it's not, but you know, as real as it is, each person still, there's a character. You create a character. You have a brand.
Right.
You're building. Yeah, you're branding yourself within this. Like Evelyn has used her like crazy, hot-headed, you know, brand. I mean, she had her boutique in Miami when she first started the show. Now she has a book deal. Now, you know, she has all these other things that are going on. So it's like, I don't know if it's necessarily because, you know, she contributes most of the drama and she still is like, you know, doing her thing on the side. But it's really about the brand, and Keisha's brand, the brand that she's trying to stay true to is that she's, you know, she's no drama. Well, she's just kind of drama free. Like,
I think in addition to that, because I'm agreeing with you. I don't think it's so much the career aspirations. Even though everybody goes on television, you're going on TV, so you definitely want some attention. But I think that Keisha doesn't yearn for group approval. I think that she's the only person who isn't, I'm trying to be in the in crowd. She's just like, normally seems like she would want to have friends, but if she doesn't, hey, keep the party going.
Yeah, I mean,
whereas Kenya is thirsty. I keep saying it. She wants to be liked, not just by the basketball wives, but by America, and it's not working.
She's this year's Mika Claxton. She wants to be in the circle, but it is not happening.
I can't determine who I don't like more, Mika or Kenya.
Oh,
I think it's got to be
me.
Kenya because we're watching it now. Like, we're watching it unfold. So you're like on the edge of your seat. Like, is she really that ridiculous?
Well, because I didn't think, like, last year I didn't think Mika, like, was that, you know, she wasn't that crazy. Like, I don't think
she wasn't crazy at all.
I don't think Tammy gave her a fair shot. Like, so that whole drama started on its own. But like Mika wasn't acting crazy. She wasn't acting out of character. Like, she was kind of doing her own thing, but she was making more of an effort to try and be liked, which, I mean, I also don't think that's the worst thing to, like, want to make new friends, but, like, when it's a group like this, there's a fine line between, like, wanting to make new friends and then, like, just kind of being like, like Evelyn said today to Kenya at the end of the show, like her weave is starting to look like Tammy.
Yeah.
She wants to look like Jennifer. Like you don't
Wants to be like Jennifer
you
too.
need to maintain your individuality
Right.
and still, because if you hang out with, I don't know, I always say this, if each of your friends was exactly the same, that would be a boring ass group of friends. Like each person has to bring
Right.
something different.
Well, look at Keisha's video. I mean, not Keisha. I'm sorry. Kenya's
Yeah.
videos. Look at her music video. She's not trying to be original by any means whatsoever. She is an imitation of whatever she sees.
Yeah. It's true.
And it's unraveling
It's a bootleg
itself,
version of
unfortunately.
everything
Right.
she sees.
It's not a good
It's
knockoff.
the poor man's version.
Yeah, she
It's
is.
like the Canal Street version.
She's trying, and her business effort it's there. She's making an attempt, but no one has as much business savviness as Shaunie, because anything Shaunie does, she makes it look extravagant. And even for her daughter, she gave her daughter a really nice Los Angeles birthday.
And can I say, she you could tell she's the CEO in charge. She was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make my appearance, but it's gonna be family oriented. It's gonna be no drama. I'm gonna look good. But I can't say this, like, it's nice to see that her kids were on the show. A lot of these girls
never
that don't like,
see it.
yeah, we don't know what Susie's kids look like.
Yeah, well, the only thing with that is, sometimes it is a little bit to much.
protect the kid.
Yeah, so I mean, I wouldn't say anything's bad that Susie doesn't ever show them, but Susie don't even talk about them.
Yeah,
which is weird.
exactly. You're like,
I feel like
kids
Susie.
are a big part of your
Right,
life.
so then
Like,
it makes
you don't
you
even
seem
mention them in
like-
conversation.
Yeah.
And I feel like these women are showing themselves. This is supposed to be their real lives. Well, if you have children, that's
Right.
part of you. You're a mother. So it's nice to see that Shaunie comes on. Okay, not only was I once a basketball wife, not only am I a CEO of this show, but I also am a mother. And this is what I love to do. I love to surprise and make my
I love
children
to bring out
happy.
mindless
It
behavior.
was,
and
Yes, it was
just make my
joy.
daughter cry.
Now that was a genuine moment. That
Yeah.
little girl
It
did
was.
not know that group was coming over there.
No,
and
she
you could just
didn't.
tell
And
she was
evidently, they are
bawling.
really a big deal right now.
They
so.
are. If I was her age,
They're no One Direction though.
I was gonna say One
They're
Direction is a
no
little
One
more
Direc-
popular, but they're
One Direction
like
is,
the
like,
B2.
killing it now.
They're like the
Immature
B2K of
Yeah, immature of
right
our
now.
generation.
But yeah, what's funny? Shaunie does have probably a lot more say so on how she gets edited. But going off what you said, at the end of the day, Evelyn, even though maybe she doesn't decide what how she's portrayed, she certainly could push a certain brand, like you said. And Shaunie's probably trying to say, hey, this is my life of a basketball wife and a mother, and she has a future in this
They
in
can
this
only
industry.
use what you give them. So if
Exactly.
you're giving them the material to make you or paint you
Yeah.
in a negative light, then
I mean,
they're going to use
While
what
we're
they
talking
have.
about Shaunie though, can we just talk about how much that little girl looks like Shaq?
oh my God.
That's like the one thing you would not want to happen.
Can we just talk about that a little
that
bit?
was cold, Ronnie.
She was so cute and she was so sweet, but like I looked at her, I was like, holy
Shaq,
shit, I know who her
yes,
daddy is.
exactly.
Yep. Hey,
Yeah,
Shaq.
there's no denying it whatsoever.
And what?
No.
And remind me how old she
She
was.
turned 10 on
10.
the show.
Okay, so she's gonna, maybe she's gonna be an ugly duckling at some point. She'll. Is that the right word?
Ronnie is killing it
No,
right
isn't
now.
that-
The points and views of this host are not the
isn't that
AfterBuzz
nice though?
representation.
Like ugly duckling.
Black Swan.
What does ugly
No?
duckling mean? It means they're beautiful later. It's just not right now.
No, is that? I think
Yeah.
Ugly
you're-
duckling
I think
means
if you look at the
reject.
bigger picture, but
You're
yeah,
thinking
when you think ugly
Well,
duckling, that's not.
I think he means
Yeah.
Black Swan.
Yeah,
where
that's
they
right,
blossom
so the Black
later.
Swan, yeah.
Thank you
Ugly
for
duckling is
saving me.
something else.
Thank you for saving me, Maricela.
Shawnee, that was Ronnie.
Yeah, I know, and Shaunie is in Los
Not
Angeles,
us.
so no, I mean, you're right. That wasn't the best comment, but she's probably nicely
Can't
good.
talk about the kids.
She's good in
Not
school.
when the cameras are on.
Yeah, she's good in school.
She's gonna play basketball because she's
Wait,
a.
but how
All
about
right,
that?
wow.
How
She's a
about
tall
that-
little girl.
How about that concert though? When they shot it out her at the concert, wasn't that really sweet? And Shaunie probably made that happen.
Yeah.
But that's a power player right there.
Well, and
And I have to say, I totally. Shawnee was talking about how, you need to bring your earplugs to a concert like that because they were part of the Scream tour, which is the name, and all the little girls there can scream. And after working the Kids' Choice Awards this past Saturday, let me tell you. Earplugs are your best friend when you're around young
gosh.
children and pop stars. It's crazy. I've never heard people scream that loud in my life.
I'm surprised we didn't see Shaq at his daughter's party. Like,
I was
he's
gonna
not coming on
say,
the show.
how's
Yeah.
that work?
yeah, but I feel like that's his daughter's party. You'd feel like
Well,
there'd
maybe
be-
that's
I'm sure-
one of
I'm
his
sure- I'm
daughters'
sure
When
she had
parties.
to.
when they're not filming, then Shaq gets his
Shaq
this
is-
time.
I'm sure they had several parties for her.
I think they co-parent together, but I don't think she's like, hey, boo, like, come on my
Yeah.
show that I got after I divorced you, and
Yeah,
now I'm
doesn't
making
she
a
have a
bunch of
band?
paper off of.
But she
yeah, and he
always-
was on the show last week. He was not last week.
Oh,
when
at
it
her
was
dinner,
Evelyn's
at her birthday, yeah.
He doesn't get a lot of airtime, but her little boo thing was there.
But
Yeah.
Shaq seems to always be supportive. That's what it seems like from Shaunie. that she's
in
supportive of this.
interviews.
Yeah,
Well, you know
but-
what? And that's a funny thing because in every
Yeah, that was
Shaunie
after he sued her, accusing her of stealing money.
and every
AfterBuzz
He's
exclusive.
really supportive.
every Shaunie interview, that question probably gets asked. So she probably has a way to answer it to make it
It's the
sound
same thing
harmonious.
though, like when you talk to Keisha and you ask her like, what does Richard think about you doing the show? It's not
He's
about
supportive.
you know,
I'm sure
it's
it's
not about
always
Richard, but
something
you know,
consistent.
for her it was like I had the conversation with him that I'm doing the show, and I acknowledged that if he wasn't in my life, you know, I wouldn't have this opportunity. And I think, you know, they probably have the same thing, but I don't think Shaq and Shaunie are like talking about, oh, you're doing so well with this. Like, this is not a show that
You've used my name to get
you know,
get on.
with the exception of Doug Christie, most athletes who are involved or were involved, and Ocho with these ladies don't, you know, they don't want to be tied to it. And last week I told you about
That
that
was
football
interesting, yeah.
player who in his court documents is like having a no basketball
clause, yeah.
wife clause.
That is
like,
a shame when
you
you have to
know,
add that.
It's
He's
gonna
like, I'll
happen more
pay
though.
you
I feel like
$6,000 a
that's
month, but no basketball wives for you. And you know VH1 pays more, so that's kind of a bad deal for her. But
I feel
I'm
like
just saying.
They're using their name in order to get famous. They're using, you know, their likeness in order to create a career for themselves.
Jennifer
Yeah.
certainly did. I still don't like Jennifer as much as the rest of you. But anyway, Keisha's friend was in town. Takara was the name, correct?
Shakara.
Shakara. I'm just
Sakara.
throwing
Sakara.
out names. Sorry about that.
Yeah, Sakara was in town because Keisha basically felt like she needed to prove that she wasn't a liar to these ladies. And when Kenya apparently called Evelyn loose, Sakara was there, and she brought her in town to kind of, you know, further throw Kenya under the bus because Kenya just won't own up to it. She won't fess up to it. Her best response is she doesn't remember, which
It's
crazy.
such a
Those-
lie. Like,
those-
that's the best you have is I
Yeah.
can't remember.
I mean,
To me, either I said it or I didn't say it. I can't remember. To me, that just makes you look
that
guilty.
means there's a possibility
The-
I said it.
The
Yeah.
only
Exactly.
defense
It means
for,
I said it.
The only defense for Kenya, and this I'm not a Kenya fan, of course, but like the only defense for her is those two, like Evelyn and Tammy, just being so aggressive with you. Maybe you do get a little shaken up. Do we? Not at all. Or any of you guys? You still?
I told you I was over Kenya.
No, I am too. But
Episode 1. No, she is digging. She's digging
Well-
her own grave. She's digging her own grave, and she's running in circles around it. Like,
And she's throwing
just
people
own up
under the
to
bus.
It. Yeah,
She
and then she tried to throw
putting it
Keisha's
on-
friend Sakara under the bus. Like,
Exactly.
well, you were there too. You said something about all the girls. She was like, I didn't call anybody loose. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like, I was giving my opinion, but I didn't call them a hoe. Like,
You
so,
know, yeah.
but every opportunity she gets, she's going to try to take someone down with her. And she just has been just a nasty person on the show. We haven't seen anything likable about her. And I'm sorry, I like Keisha, so the fact that
We're
you're doing
Team
that
Keisha.
to yeah, the fact that you're doing that to her, and
get T-shirts.
I already
made
had
up.
a problem with her when she was laughing at the fact that Evelyn and Tammy were like going in on her at that dinner
Yeah.
and she didn't have her back. So all's fair in love and war.
And you know what's interesting is that I know she knows she's digging herself in a hole because she is latching on to Jen for the life of her.
Oh.
Like, okay,
She's
well,
the mini Jen, yeah.
exactly. They don't really like Jen. There's some problems there, so let me get on Jen's good side so I can at least have a team.
And she knows that Jen will probably say, "Oh, yep, them
Well,
girls
Jen-
are crazy." Like,
Jen did. Jen's like, well, we're going through a divorce, so we relate to one another. You know, it's like there's always that little
don't
common
know.
thread.
I think
that
If Jen and Evelyn were cool, she would not be hanging out with
hell
her
no.
right
No,
now.
no. I think that's what's good
Strength in numbers.
about this many girls on this particular season because it adds for so many different, like, you know, this team and that team. Everyone's kind of like, I don't know. There's just,
there's a bunch of, you know, it's evolved
Versus
into separate little cliques.
yeah,
versus
kind of.
last year, it was like all of them.
Not a big circle.
It's like
now,
high school.
Smaller.
These are the mean
Yeah,
girls.
it's a little more interesting because when it was Mika out of the circle, it's like, okay, she's either in it or she's out of it, and that was it. Now we have a lot of Susie type people that, you know, say hello to this group and say hello to this group and throw the words back and forth, which is
Yeah.
a little more interesting. So you guys said the episode number 7 should be called Bitches and Bottles, and then we
Yes.
certainly figure how that even comes about because Kenya and Evelyn, it really becomes another sit down, another fancy dinner.
It's always a sit down.
But Evelyn throwing bottles and everything, I mean,
Yes, and alcohol. That's
Yeah.
alcohol.
I mean, you know, at the end of the day, Keisha brought her girl into town, wanted to clear it all up. That's also the thing that I find funny about like these situations. It's because like when you first like sit down with your girlfriends at dinner, even if you have like issues, like I wouldn't be like, okay, Mari, so I need to talk to you about
4
this.
seconds, yeah.
This is what's been going on, and I need to know if you said this. Like I would let her like,
Sit, get both cheeks on the
hey,
chair.
how
yeah.
you
Order
doing? What's been
first.
going on?
Yeah.
I wonder if it was
Okay,
edited
now let's
that way.
address the
Well,
elephant in the
Yeah.
room.
And
It
two,
could be.
they'll say cut. we want you to say that just like that, but just one more time with a little bit more energy. They'll have you retake what you just said. So it was authentic maybe the first time, but after 3 takes, it's not authentic anymore.
Yeah.
It's definitely staged.
But so, she brought her to town. Kenya came to dinner looking like she just got off work and it was going to happy
Why
hour.
was she in
I'm
this
like,
black dress?
straight up
She looked a
trying
little
to look
older.
She looked like-
When we don't know.
She
When we
looked like
don't
she
know.
was leaving her executive assistant position at Merrill Lynch, and she was like coming for like a cocktail to unwind.
Yeah, when we
But
don't know
always
her
looked
age.
She
crazy.
wanted to be
Well, she's
professional
35.
when
Maybe
she was
she was-
going to this hearing this trial that
Right.
she was about to go
Yeah, it
through.
was a
That's
trial.
what it
That's
sounds-
true.
that's what
Let
she
me
needs
look
to prepare
presentable.
for.
Let me.
I like that.
I thought she was trying to wear something maybe non-threatening to the ladies because she thinks that everybody's jealous of her.
Yeah, she didn't want to seem
What the
flashy.
hell
She
is there
wanted
to
to
be
seem
jealous of?
professional.
What
know.
on when she
I
was saying
wonder-
that, I was like, "Oh, you're crazy."
She is.
What is there to be jealous of? It's not your talent. It's not your looks. It's definitely not your money. I mean, what was there to be jealous of?
I
Not
wonder
her
if she has
personality.
friends.
Not her personality.
Her glowing personality.
I wonder if she has friends.
Probably.
Well, she had an entourage of how many when they went to
this
that
is
club
true. This is-
initially.
Yes, but
Those-
friends and yes people are like
Those are
they're
probably
very
yeah.
different.
Those are
Two
people.
different
Her
things.
friends right now are people that just want to be on camera with her, probably. If we really think about
Yeah,
it.
why else would you bring 7 people to look at a club that,
Yeah.
That you don't
have-
wanna pay
that
for.
don't have any money? Yeah,
I like
aren't contributing opinions.
I like how the drama is even so based off, because when Keisha was telling her friend on the beach, oh, what is it that, initially got us to be, ugly with Kenya? What was the problem? She was like, oh, it was, with the music video or whatever. I don't think it was really initially just that, but everything has certainly built off that first, differences of opinions with Keisha and
I
Kenya
think
and
that
that
was
music.
it, though.
You think
Wouldn't
that's only
because-
it?
Well, I feel like that was what started it. That's
Yeah.
what ignited
Well,
the fire.
because Keisha rubbed Kenya the wrong way, and then Kenya just made every effort to kind of.
Well, I
you
don't
know,
think Keisha believed in her. I think she was honest about that and telling
Well,
her
she just
that
said she didn't want to be involved.
yeah,
It's
she doesn't
like,
want to work with her. And I
know.
think Kenya got her feelings hurt, and then from that point on, had to bust her out at the meeting in front of everybody, saying that
Try and
she's
make her look
yeah,
stupid.
exactly. So that's when it just snowball
Yeah,
effect.
she wanted to get her jabs. Then when she realized, oh, Tammy and them aren't feeling Keisha, let me, let me make my little nudges and see how this will take it a little
Because
bit
she was
further.
bitter about something that personally happened between them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she tried to jump on the bandwagon, and then everybody just happened to turn around and hate her.
And, as much as Kenya was upset about Keisha talking about, her music video, we see in the next episode that, well, that's my other thing is Tammy is apparently an A&R now. I don't know how that happened. but
She thinks because she has kids in the music industry that she.
but they're not doing nothing.
Exactly.
That's
Even
what I'm saying.
Even that
They
last
didn't
season
even
was
want
interesting.
her.
Yeah.
You need
yes. Remember last
their
season?
manager.
Yeah.
They're like, no,
She-
mom, I'm all set.
I love Tammy, but she needs more people. You can't just I can't pick up and be like, you know what, I'm gonna be an A&R today. I'm gonna put this whole album together in this whole person's look just because I think I know what looks
She just-
good.
I'm
She
still a little iffy with Tammy. I love Tammy is like
But
one of my
glam,
favorites.
her glam squad calls Kenya out next week because Kenya's like shows the video and she says,
and I
"How
know-
many people have you showed this to?" That's a
It
bad
looked,
question.
Yeah, it looked like it was negative.
That's a loaded question right there.
Do we know how credible her glam squad is? Because I'm a little
No,
iffy.
that's what I'm saying. I don't know when she became an A&R and who these people are
Because
that are like building.
I
Kenya.
realize people behind the scenes sometimes don't look as great, aesthetically on camera or
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. But her glam squad looks a little iffy. I mean, I'm sure I look a little iffy, but my point is, I just want
You're
a little
not
more.
claiming to have a glam squad.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not a
Isn't she-
glamorous dude. Like what?
I'm thinking, isn't she a representative for like hair products or weaves?
she's got a weave line.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, so
that's
I'm
not
thinking
her.
maybe that's her glam squad
No.
for her weave.
Yeah.
No, they have like a company
Tammy's
called
great,
like
though.
Diva Glam Squad or something. Like that's an actual
You
company
know what?
name.
And I think it's good that she is trying to do this because obviously she can't do this dramatic stuff forever. Her heart's just gonna give out, So maybe
Good
if she moves,
point.
maybe if she moves into the I say it with love, of course. But if she moves into the A&R stuff, maybe that's what she needs to
yeah,
do.
but you don't just like an A&R job is like.
Oh, hard to get. Yes.
It's one of the best jobs in the music industry. And it's like you have to have talent. You have to be able to scout talent and hear talent and recognize talent and want to build talent. It's not just a job. Like, I know people who, like, interned for years and, like, worked as assistant for years to be able to, like, be an A&R. Like, you can't just wake up one morning and go, you know what? I'm on Basketball Wives. I got a weave line.
But I
and
think
now
that's what
I'm
she's
gonna...
thinking.
Especially
that's
since the
what
record
she's
industry
thinking.
is
Yeah.
just getting smaller and smaller. How many jobs are they cutting anyway? So
I mean, yeah. I used to work at a label. It's not a
Yeah.
good place to be at this
yeah,
point in
they
time.
just
but,
they
you know,
axe a lot of people.
It's tough.
quite a
It's a
bit.
tough business. The
Um,
internet changed the game.
Yeah.
Well, her also, is she contributing to Royce's play or her career at all?
no,
That's
no,
all
no.
Royce.
Yeah, Royce is doing her separate stuff, her little
Royce
hip
got
hop.
learned-
Can I say
Royce
her
has her
little
own
hip-hop-
show.
Royce's
Dance
weave
video.
this episode
It
looks
looks
so good.
nice. I
was like,
agree,
I
Fallon.
see you, Royce. I see you.
Okay, so
Trying to
we
step it up.
we discovered that Royce is not the cutest girl on the show, right? But I was talking to somebody. No,
my
it's okay.
God.
Ronnie is throwing
Ronnie.
ugly jabs left and right. He's beating them with a stick.
I am known for the compliment diss, the compla diss, because there's a compliment.
diss.
There's a compliment coming
So
here.
you and Kenya would have a lot in common.
Oh,
actually.
don't say that!
Because
I almost want to go to commercial
That's
now.
how it started
No.
with Evelyn. She was trying to compliment her and
But-
say they had a lot in common, but she was not a loose hoe.
Right.
Exactly.
But
We have a lot in common except you're a hoe. What? Come on, Kenya. Okay, well, let me finish my compliment diss. Not like Kenya at all. I was talking to somebody. I was like, you realize that Royce isn't the cutest girl on the show. We get that. God, it doesn't sound good anytime I say it. But I will try. However, if you really look at her, she looks just like Lark Voorhees of Saved by the Bell. And Lark Voorhees was very good looking.
Oh, no.
So,
I wouldn't say
No?
just like.
Yeah.
you just
little.
compared Royce to Lisa Turtle?
yes.
I
You're
think
not
he did.
saying it? No
Oh,
Oh,
one's
no,
saying
no,
that?
not Lisa.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
Lisa
I'm
Turtle.
sorry. I'm sorry. I gotta interject.
Hell no.
now.
Please do.
No way does she look like.
Yeah.
That's good.
I can
Oh.
see what Ronnie's thinking. I mean, because they
No, I can
have
see
No,
it.
I
almond, they
can't
have
see it.
almond eyes,
No,
but
I can see it a
Ronnie,
little.
did-
No, I mean,
did you
I-
need glasses.
she was beautiful.
I feel like he just totally disrespected Lisa Turtle.
I did not know.
can see it. I agree.
Lark Voorhees hasn't been brought up in
Lisa
quite some
Turtle
time.
is
So,
more beautiful, yes, but they could be
Definitely.
cousins.
cousins
Distant.
there.
Distant.
Distant cousins.
I didn't say Royce and Stacey Dash.
through
If I
marriage.
would have said Stacey Dash and Royce, I would have, expected the criticism. But like Lark Voorhees is very good looking, but Royce looks like her cousin. No?
Stop saying that.
Blasphemy.
I'm not gonna say it no more because Paul will cut us off completely. So
Yeah.
let's not
You
do
know
that.
when Paul starts to interject, it
Yeah.
is a serious issue right here.
Yeah, no, Paul's watched most of the other seasons, but hasn't seen the craziness of these two new girls, which really, it's not Keisha, but it is Kenya. This show, man, though, so good.
Hey
Do we-
guys, we have someone calling in. Do you
Yeah, let's
wanna-
take it.
Talk
Yeah.
to him.
Okay, here we
Basketball Wives, AfterBuzz, After Show, what's up?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello. Welcome to AfterBuzz Basketball Wives.
I'm sure they're just nervous to tell me that Lark Voorhees looks like Royce. I'm sure it's Royce. Hello, Royce. No, I'm kidding.
Hello.
Is it a pocket
Hi,
dial?
this is Tatalicious calling.
We love Tatalicious. What's up, baby?
Monty Mighty is my favorite. I love her.
Okay.
That is a friend who's a basketball wife fan.
What'd you think of tonight's episode?
I didn't watch it yet, but I do want to make a comment.
Go.
I have to watch it later. I think Royce's character is a little more likable this season. Do you guys agree?
I do.
I agree. Mhm.
Yeah.
She's playing it cool.
I used to think she was just really annoying and thirsty, but I just feel like she has good character. You know, she stood up to Evelyn. She stood up to the mean girls, and now she's like on her own, and she has her own friends, and she really seems like a better person. So that's the comment I wanted to
Your
make.
ear says otherwise.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Thank you for the phone call. Here's my thing with Royce. I think she was likable last season too. I enjoyed her last season. I didn't have an issue, so I don't think she's any more.
I feel like when she's not under the fire, that's when she's more likable.
Yeah.
You can focus on other things. Like we see her acting, we see her,
Yeah.
trying to develop herself and
Which, in
find
all
herself.
honesty, it's a little more boring to watch.
It
is.
Here's my favorite Royce thing. She does not give a damn if they like her or not in that inner circle, and I just can't get over how positive that is. She's fine with it,
But I also think she's like kind of taken a step out of Keisha's playbook in that she's sort of like, Susie's kind of wanting to force this like reconciliation with Jen, and like I think Royce is just kind of over it. She's like, you know what, I'm not gonna feed into it anymore. I'm not gonna go to any more meetings and have any more glasses thrown at my
She
head.
ain't
Like
about this life.
These boardroom meetings.
she's over it, She's like, all right, and we're not gonna resolve it, so that's what it is. We're not resolving it, and I'm just gonna move on about my business.
Yeah. And she does the
Because
play.
if she didn't, she would be driving herself nuts the way Kenya is.
Yeah.
Who's thirsty to get in there.
So because we didn't really get into the fight, which is like
Let's do it.
the big part, because I know we have to kind of wrap up.
And we
a
do
little.
appreciate the phone call. If you want to get in on the conversation, it is
Call us.
424-256-1729. And while I say that, all of us battle LA traffic and work very hard to get down here and recap this show. So the only favor we want you guys to do for us also is go on our iTunes page and comment and rate the show.
And call us.
Rebecca Rebecca over here, she's doing her thing with Wire Image, and she's got her own website. And, you know, Fallon's giving us the 5 quotes. Spicy Marty does about 15 shows here at AfterBuzz. We all work really hard. So our thing is like, you know, stay in touch with us and interact. I know some of you guys have done that on YouTube, but we really want our iTunes fans to show some support too. All right, Rebecca, what were you thinking?
Okay, so yeah, we'll just get into the meat of the whole episode.
And
which
potatoes.
It was really, you know, it was the showdown between Evelyn and Kenyon. You know, Keisha laid her cards on the table. Evelyn listened to it. She's liking what Keisha has to say these days. And then, you know, she kind of turned it over to Kenya, and that's when Kenya really just continued to play the crazy card, or the the amnesia card. I don't remember what I said. And it just kept, you know, it was infuriating Evelyn.
Yeah.
It was like, and
You
I
could
love
see the
Evelyn.
vein popping out
but
of her
she
forehead.
smells
Yeah.
the like fear in Kenya's heart. I think she
She
can like smell it.
does.
She's like,
She's like
oh,
a
I'm about
lion.
yes. Because she was like tapping and moving and just
She
shaking.
took the earrings
Yeah.
out. You know when a girl
She
takes her
already-
earrings
Yes.
out.
It was,
already
it was
was
the
back
shoes.
to
It
be
was
on.
the shoes last episode.
hair
The
was
earrings
back.
this episode. Something's always coming off.
Yeah.
Someone still. But didn't one of you always want someone's hair to fall out or a wig or
Oh,
something?
probably
It's
Kenya.
always Kenya's
I
hair.
want Kenya's weave on the floor next episode.
I do like the comical aspect of Kenya trying to have the same weave as Tammy.
And I don't know.
loved that.
I don't know if you saw how offended Tammy was. Like you know, because Evelyn, like I don't think Evelyn was just going off, and I
Yeah.
don't think Tammy was understanding. Like, whoa, why are you saying that Kenya's weave looks like mine? But when what Evelyn was really,
Tammy Evelyn?
well, Tammy's face, they panned to her real quick, and she was like,
Of course.
My weave is
What?
better than
Well,
that.
it was like an insult. You're comparing this girl to me.
But
That's
what
I
she-
think what Tammy was
yeah,
feeling.
totally,
But that's
but-
not what Evelyn
yeah,
meant.
and what
these
she
girls
was
are so
saying was
diff-
like, you know, you're trying to be like us.
Yeah.
Like you're
Right.
trying
to be like Jen.
You're trying to be like Jen. You got a weave
I
that
almost-
looks like Tammy's
I wanna get
now,
some-
and you upgraded those bum ass kitten heels to like some lubes. So
I almost want to get a somebody who, you know, is on production with this show, because I'm sure they're like, it don't even matter if they ain't talking about Tammy. Get a camera ready to go to Tammy's face. I need camera number 2 at Evelyn's face, because these girls get mad at hair.
And can I say, we were speaking about it while we were watching the show. Evelyn does the best impersonations.
Oh,
she
yeah.
has
She
it
does good.
down pat.
Yeah.
I'm just like, wow.
like
She
she
will
might
turn
have a
into the
second
person right
career.
then.
So
her
we-
Tammy impression, her Jen impression earlier this
That's
year
an
was
easy one, though.
crazy.
Easier.
That one was so good.
I feel
She
like
is-
if you act like an airhead, you could always imitate
No, but
Jen a
it's
little
like
bit.
the way she talks and everything. The same way she did it with Tammy. She really like
Yeah.
she nails people.
Yeah, she'll nail
She's
the
good at
nuances,
that.
everything.
I want to ask Rebecca this, because I know you're not a fan of these reality stars taking hosting gigs, because obviously Rebecca should, you know, I
like,
feel like if there was a TRL today, you would be that host. You know,
I would love
Rebecca's
to. That would be my dream job.
Rebecca is that talented. We all
Where's
know
the
this.
TRL when you
However,
need it?
however, don't we think Evelyn could kind of hold down that type of show as well? Not that type of show, but I feel
Maybe
like
a 106 in Park, kind of like Roxy, but I don't
That's
know
right.
about
Even
TRL.
know.
But the
So you're
thing
gonna compare her to your like icon?
who's my icon?
Who is
You're
your
my
icon?
You're
No.
my icon, Spicy.
Who is it?
I don't-
Carson Daly.
Oh, Carson Daly. I do like
You
Carson
forgot
Daly.
your icon?
No, Carson Daly's
Next,
amazing.
you're gonna tell me you don't like J Lo.
Well, no, those are my 2 icons. Yeah. Okay, so now I don't even know what I was saying.
Oh,
Let's,
okay, so we were talking about Evelyn.
Evelyn,
hosting.
the thing about that's
She just
so
has
good about
longevity.
Evelyn is like, you know, Evelyn is, she's like Fallon was saying, she's like the queen of quotes. She always like delivers, but like we don't see enough of Evelyn in just like a kind of like chill, laid back situation, because like all we ever see is her talking about the other ladies.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
I don't know if she like I don't know if I would want to listen to her like deliver music news to me. Plus
Yeah.
I think she's a little too old. Like
Yeah.
the no, but like the TRL generation, the 106 in Park generation. Well, TRL's gone, but like 106 in Park, it's a younger, you know, it like
It is.
skews
Yeah.
for the
Well,
younger
anyone's
after
better than
school.
Roxy.
And they don't give
but-
us enough positive, like you were saying, of her on the show. So we only see
I
her
agree
portrayed in a
with that.
negative light.
Want free back on that
And
show.
so if she's not talking junk or starting some drama, we probably wouldn't want to tune in. Like
I mean,
said.
you don't know, but that's why I'm like curious, because
Give us
I'm
more.
excited for, you know, her and Ocho's spinoff, because
You want to see her in a
It's
different
gotta
light
be-
other
Yeah, it
than
would
the
nice.
drama.
It's gotta be something.
See
How
her
will she
intimate
be
moments.
as
Yeah, caring.
vulnerable
she's not gonna
as
be like
lover and
throwing bottles
You know
of
what's
wine.
crazy?
mother.
I
She
think
might
her
mess with
bridesmaids.
Ocho Cinco.
Because some of these characters, they do move on to their own show, and you don't really want to see it as much.
Yeah, that's
Bethany,
true.
I don't know if people love her show as much as when she
Oh,
was
we're watching Evelyn.
yelling. I feel like Evelyn shows so much emotion that I would still be interested.
Well, you know what it is? Ocho, he's a character himself.
Thank
so
you.
the two of
He's
them
been on 2
together.
reality shows.
Yeah, and she already knows how to play the game. time. So I know she's going to spice it up. Like, we love Lala, but her and Carmelo, they're
Womp
not that.
womp.
Exactly.
It's like drinking water.
Exactly. Evelyn and Ocho, they know how to play with
Now
fire.
that's
They know how
tequila.
exactly. So they'll spice it up.
Maybe Lala's not willing to do that.
Well,
though.
Lala, I think Lala is very
She
I
was
think
a
brand,
Tiara host.
a brand,
Exactly.
and she's
Exactly.
brand conscious. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
she know like. This reality show didn't put Lala on. Lala got this reality
She
show
did her
because
radio
she was
show.
already on.
She did her
because she
radio
already
show
did everything,
with
and then
Ludacris.
she
She's been at it. Yeah.
then she happened to marry one of the biggest
Exactly.
NBA
So her
players in the
brand
league.
isn't drama.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
being who
Evelyn.
she is. Evelyn is drama. So
Or I don't even know if it's it's definitely drama, but as Evelyn likes to say, she's keeping it real. She's the
And
realest bitch.
I'm sorry, she does keep it real. I believe everything that comes out of that girl's mouth. And she always looks good and put together. I can't ever talk mess about Evelyn and the way she looks. Every other person on the show, I'm like,
And you said she was over 35, and that body like that is
She
definitely
looks
not bad.
amazing.
The first
35,
two,
yeah.
the first 2 episodes of the show, I kind of was over her. I was like, oh, this drama. But I'm really, really starting to like her. Like, she's entertaining, and at the same time, I feel like I can agree with her. If somebody called you loose on a show, of course you're gonna go after them. So
And she
You
like
look mad
I,
even just saying that.
but I like though that she wasn't even mad that she called her loose because
It's the
she's
lies,
like I
lies.
own my shit.
Right,
exactly.
Well, she said, Chad knows everything I've done, and she was ready to
I mean,
say it all.
hello, she's writing a book
But
all
Kenya
about
wouldn't own it.
loosely based. Exactly.
and that's what she doesn't like is
And
liars.
I appreciate
Wait, what's the book's
that.
name called?
The Wives Association.
Oh, got it. I thought you said it was loose something.
No, the Wives Association.
It's like, wow,
it's
she really
not
just-
like it's not it's not
Yeah.
autobiographical, but it's loosely based on
Got it.
the
Journal
experiences
entries.
she's
Oh.
had and the relationship she's.
It's not
been
her
in.
life, but it's sort of her life.
Yeah,
Got it. Like
you know.
Lauren from The Hills. Okay, well, so let's do a commercial. Unless there's anything else we got to talk about with the bottle throwing, we're good?
No, I
okay,
think we're good.
commercial. We'll do Fallon's top 5 quotes, and Rebecca has some news. You are watching the Basketball Wives After Show on AfterBuzzTV.com. Paul, take us away.
AfterBuzz TV. Hi, I was once like you, a lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net. And like you, after I'd see one of my favorite TV shows, I'd be so excited and have so many questions that I'd actually have to talk to my douchebag coworkers about it at the water cooler. Then I discovered AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds, like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows. AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives, and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about?
Hello, that is the question. What do you want to buzz about? One thing we want from you, because we do like 45, 50, 60 after shows here for all your favorite television programs. My only thing, Mari, and you know how I feel about this. We do all the work for you, so if you're a fan of what we're doing at AfterBuzz, go on our iTunes page and simply comment the page, rate the page.
Let us know what you love, what
So,
you hated.
go on YouTube and type
Even
in.
if you hate us, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Tell us if you hate us.
There's no
There's
way
a lot of
anyone could
people
hate
that
you,
us.
Rebecca Prince.
I was like,
So,
even if you hate us.
we're going to do Rebecca's news in a second. We, I believe, have some phone calls also. But, Madi, you want to say one thing about the bottle throwing?
Oh yeah, all I was gonna say was that eventually, as Rebecca pointed out, after Evelyn had sipped her mojito, and you kept saying that. Notice how she sips her mojito.
Because she does it every time before she goes off. She's like, "Wait 1 second, guys. I know that this
I'm a
might
little
be
parched."
a little crazy. I'm gonna need some hydration
She's got
real
to
quick."
replenish, yeah.
And then the pit bull attacks.
Bam.
Gosh, she is something
And
else.
She's an animal for real.
She'd
But, you
be
know,
crazy
she
without
has
the
no
liquor,
remorse.
but
Like, I really feel that if that bottle would have landed, she would have been happy. I don't think that was staged. I
Yeah.
feel like she was
She
really
would've-
going for blood.
Yeah.
my favorite
She
Evelyn
was.
thing is she's unapologetically herself. That's just such a
I just want
such
to know
a-
how
I love that about
expensive
her.
that wine was. I wonder if the restaurant
production's
was like pissed
production's
off.
probably paying
They're
for
like,
Oh, they're
Damn it.
definitely paying for it, but like some of those restaurants, when you have like the wine sellers in the room, like those are nice bottles of wine. Like, I mean, it doesn't. Of course, they're gonna get their money, but it's like, ooh, damn, that was a good year.
I do believe Lauren is
wine
calling
also.
in.
Okay, let's we're gonna do your report too, but do we have any phone calls, Paul? I believe you stayed. Okay, let's do it. Basketball Wives, the after show. What's up? Hello.
Oh.
Okay. Well, anyways,
took
why
too
don't you do your top 5 quotes of the night? Because
Okay.
I think
Yeah. You guys ready?
Go for it.
The number 5
Okay.
quote of the night is all those bitches are corny, and that's from Kenya because as you heard,
to Jen.
everybody is
No.
saying bitch, 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 bitch.
She said it to
bitch.
Evelyn when
Yeah.
Evelyn was going off, but
All right, let's take a phone call. AfterBuzz, what's up?
hello.
Hello. Did you watch
Hello?
Basketball Wives? Turn your radio down or turn your TV off or something.
I don't have a radio down. It's Lauren.
Hey, Lauren.
Hi, Lauren.
Okay, Lauren, we're sort of pressed for time, so give us your Beyond the Drama report on tonight's episode.
Okay. You know what? Honestly, I'm a little disappointed in the girls.
Of course. Okay.
Couldn't find much. We do have, of course, I know you guys are going to talk about Tammy and her
Scare.
heart attack.
Yeah.
So that's horrible.
Obviously. Yes,
But
indeed.
I do hope that it brings the girls together. And I don't know, Rebecca, have the girls been tweeting about that at all? Or
No one's really tweeted about it. I mean, Tammy's people released a statement basically saying she did have to check herself into Cedars earlier last week because she had a mild heart attack. But beyond that, she hasn't really gone into specific details, and she's just sort of, she made a club appearance in Atlanta this weekend.
So she's
So
moving
I
on.
know, I
Like,
saw
she has a
that.
party going.
she's obviously not too hurt, but she did tweet that she it was weird for her to be at a party and not have her Bud Light in hand, and she was just sticking to pineapple juice on the rocks for a while. So obviously she has to make some lifestyle changes, but beyond that we don't have too much other information.
Right.
It wasn't a serious heart
I
attack,
mean,
but
she definitely did. I saw a tweet that she made that she's like, God has a way of bringing things into perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But then she made that appearance the next night. I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting. I hope that this is going to do something that changes her life around and
Sure it
kind
is,
of shows her that, like, you putting out all that negative energy obviously is going to do something internally to you. So, she's always quick to talk about somebody else and to say she doesn't like someone, and she's hurting herself. So,
Well, and I'm sure this stuff will be brought up in her therapy sessions because obviously, she was seeking help. So that means she is trying to make some progress in her life. But, this.
and we saw that. We see that on, we saw that on the preview for next week's episode where she's really sitting down with her mom and kind of opening up about what's happened in her life that, is the reason why she is the way she is.
Yeah.
So
It's never too late to make that change for sure. Lauren, did you have any other stories and or just your overall thoughts of tonight's episode?
No, thanks for having me on, guys. And,
We love
and
you.
I love you guys so much.
Me too.
And just, what was the name of this episode? It was Mindless Behavior, right?
Oh no, we
No,
named it.
Mindless
We
Behavior
named
is
it
the group.
Bitches and Bottles
You see, VH1 doesn't name.
because that's what it was about.
That's
You know
what we
what it
titled
reminds
it.
me of? For some reason, as I was watching Hunger Games the other night,
Oh,
all
such
I
a
can
great
think about
movie. Yes.
was these girls and like how reality TV has just gone to such another level
Yes.
that I wouldn't be surprised if
It
sooner or
went
later
there.
these chicks are killing each other with bottles and we're watching it.
I know
And-
nobody's died yet, right?
No.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yeah,
well,
probably
Lauren,
maybe this season.
do us-
VH1 is not going to let that happen.
Well,
If they
yeah.
don't stop it in time,
Well.
I
It
mean,
was a
even
close
Evelyn
call for
said, "Why
Tammy."
y'all always stopping me?"
Exactly.
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 One time
because
that bottle's
VH1 is
gonna get through.
She's like, we know what makes good TV, but we also can't. We have to protect our
Right.
girls, our other cast members, and we're not trying to have you go to jail because you
If-
are our bread and butter.
If it ain't this show, it's going to be the Mob Wives show.
Yes.
Nevertheless, Lauren, tell everyone where we can follow you on Twitter because you give us the most love and positivity, especially when you're talking about these crazy chicks on this show.
Aw. Yeah, you can follow me at Lauren's Love. So LaurenSLUV. Follow me.
Thank you, Lauren. We appreciate
Thank
it. Thank you
you.
so much. Okay,
Love
let's wrap
you.
up.
Love you.
Back to
Bye, guys.
your 5 quotes real
Okay.
quick because I know we got to jump out of
Number
here.
4 is your weave is starting to look like Tammy's. You're starting to be like Jen, and you upgraded the kitten heels to Louis Vuitton.
Okay.
And that was Ev to Kenya.
Yep.
Number 3 is crazy people can only pretend to act normal for so long. That was
Royce.
No.
Royce didn't say that?
No,
Susie.
that was Susie speaking of Kenya.
God, everyone's quote is about Kenya today.
It's the Kenya show, apparently.
Yeah.
Kenya needs to know she's not a diva status yet. She needs to sell more than 5 albums. That was Tammy speaking again of
I was
Kenya.
snapping.
Yeah.
She said that. I was like,
like-
"True that."
And the number 1 quote of the night
Okay.
is, ready?
All right, go for it. Go for it.
If you don't like me, too bad, bitch.
So see, we named it the right
again,
episode. Bitches
was-
and bottles for episode
that
number
was
7.
Ev to Kenya right before she threw a bottle at her.
Oh my gosh. Okay, too much.
She said, she's like, I'm gonna make your life a living hell. And I was like, damn, I kind of believe you. Every moment you get, you are gonna torture this girl.
Oh yeah, Evelyn is a piranha, and she's just about to attack Kenya for the rest of the season, probably. Let's hit the news music, and then Rebecca could fill us in on some stories. News music. Go ahead, Rebecca. Hollyhoops.net is where you can find all her stories.
All right, guys. So obviously throughout the show, we've been referencing Tammy's heart attack. She did have a mild heart attack last week. She went to Cedar. She got checked out. She's doing fine, making club appearances and just laying off the Bud Light. Then, of course, you know, the show is all about Kenya, and so is this news. We all know Kenya's crazy, and, you know, that she's going through a divorce right now, and her ex-husband is continuing to call her out. Not only did he say that, you know, Kenya was complaining about his spending, that he was spending money in Louis Vuitton and she's struggling to take care of their kids. So he released some detailed documents about what she spends, and it was a little crazy, but what the most noticeable expense on there probably was Kenya had $110,000 worth of plastic surgery getting ready for the Basketball Wives season.
All that,
so
that end result what we're watching.
She needs to spend it on her weave.
I'm confused.
Is there a refund?
I was gonna say, so what we're watching is actually an upgrade.
Done?
You know, like, yeah, she's.
Get
I mean,
outta
they
here.
didn't list specific procedures, but he listed the grand total of $110,000 on plastic surgery
My gosh.
and the trips to LA to, you know, cover the expenses of the plastic
Well,
surgery.
here's the
whether it's
comments-
hotels, recovery, whatever. So, you know, I don't know. She has 2 kids. Maybe she had a tummy tuck. Her boobs.
$110,000. She needs to look
some
like
caps on her
Beyonce
teeth.
after that purchase.
So
I
here's
know.
the comments we want on our
So,
YouTube and
you
our
know.
and our iTunes page. What? Okay, Kenya had how much money?
$110,000
What do you think
in
Kenya
plastic
still
surgery.
needs to get done? Because there is some work
She
to be
needs to
had.
invest in her weave.
And a
not
makeup
plastic-
artist.
Yes.
Her makeup always looks
And a
ashy.
choreographer.
And okay, well,
And a vocal coach.
since we want to talk about vocal coaches and choreographers, also her single dropped today on iTunes. So if you are somehow a
dying
fan
to
of
get it.
Kenya's music, you can go buy her new single on iTunes today, which also happens to be her birthday. So
Oh, happy birthday.
Oh.
yeah, oh,
Feliz
happy birthday,
cumpleaños.
Kenya.
We have a heart. We have a heart.
So yeah, so you know, it was interesting to see that much money had been spent on plastic surgery, and
My
you know,
gosh.
I don't know.
I'm
I guess
fooled.
check your doctors out, people. That's my
I mean, those
advice.
eyelashes, I complain about the way she looks every episode. I mean, Latisse, invest in it. Weave, invest in a better
My
one.
gosh.
Makeup, get a makeup artist.
Can
Go
you
to
guys-
Evelyn's makeup artist.
I almost feel like that story's not true.
So if she
let me
spent
tell you,
that
it was
much
on-
money on plastic surgery and she looks like she looks currently, and you guys don't think she looks good. So what did she look like prior to?
That, we
the
need that
before
photo.
picture?
We need that photograph.
But that's the thing. I don't know if it's been like, you know, anything like facially that major that we would know. Maybe it's more
Yeah.
body work after the babies. Who knows what it was?
Oh, that's true. She
some
could have
cap
got the mommy
teeth.
makeover.
You know, teeth are expensive. That's like $20,000. So we don't know
That's
exactly
true.
what it
That's
was.
true.
But
She might not have her face.
You
but
know
her
what's-
ex put her on Front Street and just let you know that this is, you know, this
Yeah.
is not
Dang,
au
divorces
natural.
are shady.
And he's allowed to say something. He's got stabbed by her, so you know he's allowed to have an
Him
opinion.
and a box
You know
cutter
what's
got
funny?
Very close.
If Lauren was here, she'd find the good and
in
the
this.
beauty in Kenya and her bad surgery. Anyway, any other stories right there? I know we got to jump out of here. We
No,
got another
that's-
show on
that's
deck.
kind of it. That's basically that's it for
Yes,
the
go
basketball.
ahead.
Can
Wives
we do a
stuff.
prediction of how many?
Let's cut the music and go
or-
to predictions. Yes.
Well, not so much the shows, but I guess the prediction
And
of how many.
now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So
It's yeah, that music always weirds me out.
Spooky, right?
Go for it.
Irish.
What's the prediction of how many or how much she's gonna make or sell off her song on iTunes?
crickets.
Okay.
Are you serious?
Let's throw it out there. How much?
Okay, and let's make a wager, like a bet going on about how much whoever gets the
Oh,
closest.
we have crickets. That's awesome.
Okay, whoever gets the closest gets a free drink. I'm gonna say 10,000.
Really? That
Because
much?
people are gonna download it just because they're curious to hear it.
See, but I feel like they could go to YouTube and watch it.
Yeah, you don't need. I
'Cause you
mean,
have to
why are you paying
purchase it to
99 cents for
download
that?
it.
Okay, well, I think that she's gonna purchase 10,000 release worth.
Her team. True. Her team is going to do it. Predictions on the show. Next episode. What are we going to think is going to happen? Evelyn continues to be a shark that she is.
Yeah, I mean, I predict they're gonna say "bitch" 125 times.
Okay. That's the word of the week.
I predict that Kenya is going to latch on to Jen even more and have her on her team and on her side and go out with her to these dinner debates.
And just when I thought that Jen and Susie are like literally most airhead-ish looking people on television. And then if you have Jen next to Kenya, it's even worse. That's kind of how I see it. And we're going to see a lot of that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't think that that's a good compliment to Jen.
No,
it's not at all. So I'm really surprised that she's even befriending this girl. My prediction is that she too is going to turn on Kenya, because you know. It's gonna, like, whatever she did to everybody else, she's gonna eventually do to Jen.
Oh, poor Kenya. Everyone don't like her. So we would welcome her on the couch. That'd be fun for her to tell her side of the story. Maybe there's some crazy editing. We're out of here, you guys. Thank you so much. Find Rebecca Prince on hollyhoops.net and your Twitter.
At Rebecca Prince TV.
Yes.
Tweet me.
At Miss Mercedes, MIS Mercedes.
All right, that's for Fallon. For Spicy Mari?
Spicy_MARI.
All right, and follow us on AfterBuzz at AfterBuzz TV, and you can follow me personally at Ronnie Jr. Media. Basketball Wives, keep the conversation going. Hit us up on iTunes. We appreciate it.
I predict 10,000.
Oh, okay. We'll see. We'll talk to you next week about that.
I said 10,000.
All right.
You said 100,000.
No,
she said
10,000.
10. Okay.
We're out of here.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff. We would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.